Good afternoon, everyone. We're just going to let people funnel in here. Let's see here. It is May 2022. How does that happen, John?
The days are long and the years are short, and the months are shorter, I suppose.
I guess. So everyone's kind of funneling in right now. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that you're all super busy, and the fact that you're taking time out of your day to spend just a little bit with us is very much appreciated. And I know that all of our vendors today are going to feel the same way. So thank you again in advance. So a couple housekeeping items. This is it's going to go till 5 o'clock. So it's obviously 1 o'clock now. Jen, who is our marketing director, is going to pop open or put in the chat our schedule for today. So you can see who's coming and what, if you have to manage your time. Of course, this is a Zoom. You guys are all on mute, so feel free to keep it open all day. Come back to it for what is most important for you. Again, we will also be recording this, and it is going to go on our YouTube page. We have a great YouTube page. Go check it out. Jen will also put that into the chat feature. And that has a great catalog of videos just like this that can help empower your company and your employees with some education. So without further ado, we'll get started with our first vendor, a good friend of mine named John, who is a vice president over at CheKT. CheKT is a great partner for us when it comes to video verification, video monitoring. They have an awesome product. We really do love CheKT. And so just for a few minutes today, John is going to review their services. I will be managing the Q&A section. You'll see Q&A and chat. If you would, please use the Q&A feature for questions, and we will be holding those till the end. So without further ado, John, if you'll go ahead and get started.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and bat and lead off for you guys at CMS. CheKT is a professional visual monitoring platform that allows for delivery into CMS of verified events through any video platform, any manufacturer. You can drive video to CMS. The presentation to CMS is a consistent presentation for the operator to respond from. The system can be paired with alarm systems to create triggers, or use the analytics AI on a camera to create triggers. And when those triggers are created, as the mass software populates an operator's screen with the information relative to the account as it would natively be populated, we populate an adjacent screen with the video of what created the event, with a live view of the camera and accessibility to the other cameras that are coming through our environment. The first shot I wanted to show you is an actual priority response to an auto repair facility where catalytic converters were being stolen. You can see here that the canine was dispatched to the scene. This particular dealer had installed this system on a Wednesday. This was the Friday night. Apprehension was made, and the dealer actually had 2 apprehensions using our platform on the same Friday night. So the devices that allow the magic to happen are they're distributed through optics, through distribution channels. On the left-hand side is a device that permits 4 cameras to be selectively coupled to CMS. On the right-hand side is a similar device, but allows for 12 channels or 12 cameras to be paired with our device to automatically deliver video into the monitoring center. So during the account build, technician will pair cameras to the individual channels. Those channels can be triggered by an alarm system, again, or by the analytics on a camera. So each channel on the bridge can be independently configured to create events in the form factor that you want them to be driven. So a couple of views. The residential applications are many. Consumer on the residential side, more than ever, as the tide is turning for visually verified responses. In both of these applications, the cameras or sensors allow for CMS to be put on that site and do it before there is a breach to the physical location. So whether using cameras with, again, AI analytics, thermal detection, or motion detectors, laser detectors, whatever the trigger is going to create that consistent response. On the right-hand side of the screen down at the bottom is what's presented to CMS. And we're going to be doing a live demonstration of that towards the end of the presentation. So where a bridge is paired with an alarm panel, this is an illustration of what it might look like. The bridge is a network device. As long as it has visibility to the cameras, those cameras can be utilized. So you can have a video system with 10, 20, 30 cameras, and then you selectively pull those cameras in that you want to be part of that response. So not all cameras need to come through our environment that make up that video system. In addition to being able to pull video, we have a feature that allows for audio to be broadcast over the site as a deterrent feature. There's also relays on the devices that allow for triggering of strobes, LEDs, horns on the site. They can be latched, they can open a gate, they can be momentary, and each relay is independently configured as well. They can be operated by the central station operator. They can be operated by an end user through an app, or they can automatically trigger when our monitoring portal opens. So the bridge was really designed and meant to be and behave just like an alarm panel. We did that purposely so that the technicians with their existing skill set would allow your organizations to move into this space and do it fluently. So no expertise outside of the alarm panel behavior is necessary to be able to move into the monitoring space. And anything can be monitored. On the right-hand side, you can see environmental sensors, access control, anything that will provide a contact closure or smarts through the metadata stream of a camera will create these events. What you're through the end user mobile app, you can provide the credential to an end user to actually engage the system through an app. An end user can remotely arm, disarm, get event notifications, have access to cameras, play audio, trigger relay controls. Now, this is typically done through the central station, but they have that option should you want them to engage it. The bridge typically arms and disarms where paired with an alarm system following the status of that alarm system. So there's an arming input on the bridge that will mimic the status of the alarm panel. And that's done with the alarm panel output and providing that sensing to, or the input on the bridge for the bridge to know when it needs to go live. Each channel on the bridge, like an alarm panel, is independently configurable, entry, exit, 24-hour, instant. So however you want, as you engineer these systems, however you want that behavior to work as far as driving video into CMS, you're able to do that. So an example might be a camera that's looking over a keypad. And in that case, where the keypad's on an entry exit zone on the panel, that channel on the bridge will be an entry exit zone on the bridge. So we'll capture the video as long as that keypad is disarmed and the panel is satisfied with the timing associated with that. We won't create events. When a camera is paired to the bridge, in addition to writing to the native platform, and the way that we do this allows for those systems organically to operate as intended. We just leverage both systems into the bridge, create this environment. So we don't affect the native operation of either system. They'll operate as intended. The bridge just brings those together. So systems small to large, systems where the video system is the standalone as the alarm system, and it can be done that way. In that case, the bridge will be armed and disarmed with that app. So thermal cameras, whatever kind of cameras that you want to use, whether it's Axis or Height or Hanwha or Dahua, Bosch, whatever those cameras are that's driving the activity through our device, it's presented to CMS in a consistent format. The bridge provides a means of attaching to our cloud through true peer-to-peer. So there is no configuration of a network on the site. We use the same ports that a Skype call would use. So when engaged, the bridge will mount to what we call a dealer dashboard. That dealer dashboard is owned by and operated by the integrator. And that's where the account builds take place, and everything that's done from the site into CMS is in a secure socket layer. So everything is encrypted from the site. So the bridge holds 2 minutes of the most current video, and our integration is with the MAS software. So once a bridge is online, when the event takes place, we drive that video to our cloud. CMS's automation recognizes it as a CHeKT associated account, and without an operator having to do anything, Mastermind reaches into our cloud and grabs that video. Whether in a temporary location or in a fixed location, you can mount a bridge, and this happens to be on a trailer with a boom. We'll drive that video as long as there's a network connection. So here there's a cradle point router and the environmental box, and the bridge is attached to those two cameras. So whether temporary or fixed, what we do to get video to CMS is consistent. This is a view of the dealer dashboard. I'm going to show this in a live environment shortly, but this is where the devices are, the account is built, the devices are mounted. We monitor the camera streams to ensure that they're writing to the bridge. So once the cameras using their secondary streams start writing to the bridge, we monitor that connectivity. The dealer dashboard that you're looking at is used in installation departments, service departments, anything that goes offline in our environment is identified here. So if a camera drops out, the internet connection goes down, after a dwell time, which is programmable, after that dwell time expires, if the system is still offline or the camera is offline, it will be identified. The operator experience looks like this. When an alarm is triggered, on the right-hand side of the screen is what created the event. First thing that we provide the operator is 8 snapshots, 3 pre-alarm and 5 post-alarm. And we put that on the operator in just a few seconds. All of this mechanism that is the infrastructure of CHeKT is done very, very quickly. And by the time the mastermind screen typically opens for an operator, the associated video is also provided for them. Once the time has elapsed, that eight GIF repeated snapshot sequence turns into a 20-second video for them, which is 10 seconds pre-alarm and 10 seconds post. Down at the bottom, you can see the operator has some options to be able to drive video to an end user through a text message. So what we do is allow for the distribution of that critical event content to a contact list that's built during the account construction. So just like on a normal alarm system where you would build the call list, the same is true in our environment. A little bit different in that we drive this content badged under your company name to that contact list. When the end users receive this text messaging, as they open it, a couple of things occur. One is that on the cell phones where this is driven, everybody that responds to that text is viewable by everybody else that's looking at the text concurrently. So if a handful of your customers or Jackie and I get a text message, as we open it, I can see that Jackie's looking and she can see that I'm looking. The end user that has an option, any of the end users to tell CMS whether the alarm is disregarded or whether it's an actual event and the police need to be engaged. If the action pattern for that particular account calls for a dispatch, if a person is in view of the camera, then this becomes a part of notification because typically law enforcement's already engaged. When these messages go out, it's for the purpose of showing that contact list what's occurred. Everything that happens in our environment, part of that mastermind contacts audit trails, just like openings and closings and everything else that you're used to looking at from an account standpoint, an activity standpoint. We provide unique contact ID codes to go into that record. So not only is the alarm system providing an audit trail, but our platform does the same. So we provide that audit trail and add to that customer's account. Down at the bottom, the share event link allows for distribution of the video content to a guard service, to police. They're capable of receiving the information. A live view of the camera on the left-hand side, you can see where it says say something. The say something is the audio broadcast. So the operator or the end user can actually broadcast audio over the site. The bridge has a line level output that can be put into an amplified source. We also integrate with network audio devices. And so we can leverage that network for not only driving video content into CMS, but also to capture and integrate with network audio devices for broadcasting that audio, right? So talking about RMR here, this is a capture of the RMR associated typically with the different levels of application. So the bridge can go into existing systems wherever there's a video system. Again, it can be used as standalone. But if you have disparate systems of video and alarm systems into a location, existing or new, you can add a bridge and create this environment. So on the small systems, $50 to $100 a month is not unusual. If you're doing, retaining an existing account, you can, this is yours to determine. But sometimes the addition of this service to any application may be associated with what the need is for that end user. CMS bills very aggressively for this service because of the efficiency that we provide for operator response. And so Jackie will distribute those costs, I guess, at the end of the presentation or over the course of the next couple of days. As you move into the let me back up. On interior systems where CHeKT is associated with sensors, there's not going to be any more activity through our platform than the alarm system would natively generate. So you're really able to, put a camera over a motion detector, over that door contact, anywhere that you want to add this visual verification service by coupling those on an interior system. It's only going to drive video when an event takes place, and that's going to be driven by that alarm system, as in the exterior as well. But when you're on an interior, you can measure exactly what that level of activity is likely to be by the history of the behavior of that alarm system. As you move outside and want to provide services on an exterior platform or exterior locations, the middle box there is really meant for applications where there's fencing or some physical barrier, so that those signals again are minimized because there's a physical protection. So you're not going to get trips from these systems typically of somebody walking across a parking lot, or managing clients' outdoor assets. If somebody's in there playing the audio, using the relays, you can detect or deter a crime before it occurs. But you're going to limit signals in that environment, and a very powerful tool to wrap around that customer's needs and not create blind alarms. In all cases, video allows for the management of false alarms and priority responses. Going back to that slide where I showed you the canine dragging the officer across that parking lot and ultimately pulling the perpetrator out from under a car where that apprehension took place. It was a catalytic converter issue. I think we're all being exposed to catalytic converter issues that are rampant right now. So going to existing customers that might have active inventory outside, or in the case of the auto repair shop, is a great way to go and re-engage the customer and increase that RMR. down at the bottom, this is a window typically associated with open areas. Those open areas might be a car lot, might be an RV lot. Our dealers do a lot of those applications, but they are open. They are open, so there may be people that are using them to take a shortcut to get from one place or another, or be looking at cars, out in front of a location, just so that they're able to look at those cars without salespeople, which happens frequently. So motorcycle facilities, tractor dealerships, recycling facilities, all of those locations are open. They're going to generate some events, but the upside is that there's a lot of RMR available there. We have a customer in Minnesota that at a Mercedes-Benz dealership where there were 2 guards, and the 2 guards they didn't prevent damage or theft from the location. The owner of the Mercedes-Benz dealership shared with the integrator that the guards were costing them more than $100,000 a year. I wanted to replace those guards with video verified platform. They invested in the video system necessary to guard the perimeter with thermal cameras, physical sensors, and then had other cameras that were closer to the building that would allow for additional situational awareness when that system triggered. That account for that dealer was $2,400 a month. So the RMR is there. It's there to be captured, and the customer satisfaction for this higher level of service is evident, and they're customers for life. So we call our platform a visual monitoring solution that makes dollars and cents. From our side, as you move into this space, we will help with the design consults, sales strategies. We have installation videos. We have, through our launch site, CHeKT.com/launch or CHeKT.com/dealers. We have a tremendous amount of information, technical, sales, marketing. We have marketing slicks, videos, and we are happy to brand your company on those on that media and send it back your way. So I'm going to put us into that live environment right now. So let me change this over, and sorry, let me. So this is the dealer dashboard. Again, this is where the accounts are built, the supervision is accomplished. These are the devices. This is our location in Louisiana, our development site, where we test cameras. We're a worldwide platform outside of the United States. Typically, there is no response without verification. So very common outside of the US, and gain a lot of momentum inside of the US as police resources are stretched, and and that priority response is not in place. When an operator is talking to a dispatcher and they say, and dispatcher relays that they're there, we see them, that entire response is much different. So this is the monitoring portal. On the right-hand side are the events that have been generated. So Jackie's going to share her phone. I'm going to use one of the events. Again, this is what created the event. This is the you can see here the field detector object inside. So the rules that you build into those cameras appear in the upper right-hand side. These are the 8 snapshots I was talking about, and then automatically this converts to that 20-second video. This is the live view of that same camera. So I'm going to verify the alarm. You can see here that this is the contact list that was built for that particular account. Jackie is down right there, down below. And now the operator hits verify event. And when they do that, that contact list will receive a text message. And that text message will appear on the recipient's phones. Again, this is done through text message so that an app does not need to be open or open to engage this level of service.
So you can see here, I got the link, click it, very quick. It says touch, so you verify.
Jackie, I don't see your phone on the screen.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah,
I apologize.
so there you go, Jackie. If you hold it up again, you're full screen now, so they should be able to see it.
Ah, I'm too late. Okay. Okay, so now you can see I got the text. I click the link very quick. It brings me right into here, which is the same thing that John is showing. I can either call police or I can disregard. So I'm going to disregard. Are you sure you want to disregard? I do. And then you can obviously see it that this alarm verification is finished.
My phone says the alarm verification is finished. You can see that the operator can see that. When all of this occurred, that's part of that audit trail, that activity record for the dealer. As Jackie responded and I responded, but so verification went out. John and Jackie both responded by user. That's in that mastermind record. The bridge syncs time with the video system every hour. So if your customer is engaged with their video system through an app, they're able to, however they engage their video system, they're able to go time certain to their video system and see exactly what was going on. So and can view other cameras. I know we're a little tight here, but all of the other cameras, you have a map down here you can import, and all of this is elective. You can lay the cameras on that map. Depending upon the level of service that you want, the CMS operator has access to these cameras and can hover over them to see what's going on. The red dots here that are replacing the camera icons, this is the number of events. And remember, this is our office and the system is armed and we have people in the office. But the numbers associated with these cameras are the number of triggers that have occurred in the last 10 minutes. But more importantly, and communicating with law enforcement, if this was the camera that created the initial trigger, as egress perhaps around the building hit this trigger, this camera would go red, and then that would be identified right up here as this alarm stack is presented to the operator. So as they move through, they're able to just click on these individual events, and right here is that alarm event, and this is the live view. The talk down messages are right here. So you can build talk down messages using Google text to speech or MP3 files, and they can be broadcast over the site as part of that deterrent.
Which we love. I mean, we love the talk downs. I know that a lot of subscribers do appreciate that as well. Just to brag on John and CHeKT in general, we really are so grateful for our partnership with them. CHeKT is a great company. Everyone I work with there is fantastic, from the top all the way to tech support is just exceptional over there. It is second to none. So I just want everyone to understand that, you know, if you decide to work with CHeKT, I do believe that you're working with a company that is wanting you to succeed. And they have just been very transparent and very, very helpful for us in getting us with regards to our video program. And speaking of video and pricing, John kind of alluded to it. So what we're wanting to do is, we've heard time and time again from our dealers that, you know, it's so important to have some form of clarity, some form of certainty, or especially when I'm quoting to, or I'm bidding out to a subscriber, that you just want to have that reassurance that you're going to not have a significant margin loss, right? And we understand that. So with regards to our check pricing, we're currently revamping that to make it a more all-inclusive rate that would be not as much a la carte as it is currently, which can be very confusing. So just be on the lookout for that. We really want to make this a success for everybody. We want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable and confident when it comes to using video. And I think that revamping our pricing is going to be a great step forward. So with that being said, John, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time doing this. And then my email is at the bottom in the chat. Please don't hesitate if you have any questions for John in particular. You can always reach out to me or John if you want to pop your email in the chat. That'd also be helpful too.
Okay, I'll do it. Thank you
That'd be
very
great.
much. Appreciate
guys.
very much your time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, John.
Bet.
Okay, so next we have Podium. And many of you might be going, what is Podium? Never heard of Podium. Are they panel manufacturer? Are they like a motion detector company? No, they're none of that. In fact, I guarantee in some capacity, you may have already used Podium at some point in your life. So, you know, SMS and text messaging is basically the foundation of the majority of our communication nowadays. I don't even want to get a text from our phone call from my doctor. I just want to get a text. I know when I order a sandwich at Jimmy John's, it's getting picked up, it's getting delivered, it's a picture of my house. I know all that information. So it's so quick and easy just to get that via text. And so Jen and I found Podium probably what, 4 years ago, you think?
Has it been 4 years already? Probably. Time flies.
It's been a while, but it's come so far. It used to be online reputation. It's also become so much more with regards to their offering of services. So today we have Mike, who is with Podium, who has been really helpful for us with regards to rolling out this partnership that we have. We are reselling Podium currently. So Mike, without further ado, if you don't mind, if you could share your screen.
Absolutely. Good. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to each of you today a little bit about Podium. And like Jackie mentioned, you probably have run into Podium, whether it was professionally or even personally, right? Podium touches about 1 out of 3 cell phones, meaning there are so many local businesses that are using Podium that you've probably messaged in, got a review invitation from a local business where you're at that is using Podium. So today, hopefully we can share a little bit more about what Podium is, kind of the unfair advantage that you have as a business owner when you use Podium. When it comes down to Podium, our really mission is to help modernize the way business happens locally. Right. And as Jackie alluded to, the way that people are communicating nowadays, it's really through messaging, whether it's text messaging, whether it's Facebook Messenger, whether it's Google Click to Message. More and more people, we walk around with our cell phones, but we rarely want to pick up a phone call. And so the way business is being done now and the way the consumer wants to communicate is through messaging. And so there's where the Podium platform really comes into play. And we want to just really help local businesses modernize the way that they do business and make it more convenient, not only for the consumer, but also for themselves. We really created a new category, which we refer to as interaction management. And what that does is that allows the Podium platform to help local businesses manage all the different types of interactions that can happen all in one place. And that's where Podium really comes into play. This slide right here, kind of in a nutshell, really breaks down what Podium does when it comes to a variety of different products built into the platform. And so our platform helps local businesses with reviews. We all know reviews matter, right? Where we're looking for a dentist, we're looking for a plumber, you name it, people are starting their searches on Google and they're first looking at the reviews. And so if we can help local businesses gather as many Google reviews as possible, that's ultimately going to help them with lead generation, right? So reviews plays a key role in local SEO for Google. They say up to 34% of their local SEO algorithm has to do with reviews. So if you can get a lot of reviews, a good star rating, and a good recency of those reviews, then that's going to help you get found and get chosen over the competition. And we'll go in a little bit more about how that works and how simple we make that process. The other product that we have that comes in our standard package is our web chat. And this is a great tool to help with lead generating, right? So if we find you, we find your business, a consumer finds your business, the next step is really to go to your website and find out what do you offer, pricing, whatever the question might be. We have a web chat widget that actually turns conversations into text messages. And so it makes it that much more convenient for a consumer to connect and have conversations with a business. They don't have to sit and wait on your website and wait for somebody to chat back. We actually turn that conversation into a text message. And so that consumer can go about their day, leave your website, and you still have captured their name, cell phone number, and you continue to have conversations via text. And we can kind of show you a little bit more about that. And then the other product is we actually have a payments tool built into our product that helps collect payments. You can send a text. Once again, text is the method that people prefer. There are studies out there that show that 98% of text messages get read, and 93% of them get open and read in the first 3 minutes. So if you ever want to get something out to a customer, send it via text. They're going to see it. And so our payments tool kind of works off of that as well, right? So if you want to get payment, first half of payment, back half of payment, just send a text. They can click on a link and make a payment right there on their mobile device. And one thing that we've learned during the pandemic, that more and more people are more comfortable making payments on a mobile device. As Jackie mentioned, how else are you going to get Uber Eats or DoorDash your food during that time? Making payments on a mobile device is very common nowadays. We have a variety of other add-on products to our base package. We have a feedback product that helps with NPR rating. We also have a video chat that can be very helpful, where you can send a link, they click on the link, and it attaches to their phone, to their camera, to their microphone. And so now you can have a video chat right there, right off their device. They don't have to worry about downloading any type of software. It doesn't matter if they're using an Android device or an iPhone. It's very simple and easy. And then also we have a campaigns. When we're talking about texting promotional messages, you can do that through Podium as well. Wanted to kind of jump into and really help you understand the value of Podium. We know that a lot of our products can really reduce friction in each of the stages of a customer's journey, right? So if they're trying to find your services, right, we can help. They can find you because of a lot of reviews. Then they can consider you, connect with you via our web chat. Then their purchases can be made through payments, all the way down to, advocacy, like saying, hey, we had a great experience, we want to leave a review, all the way into just re-engaging customers through our inbox. And I'll kind of walk you through that as well. So what ultimately Podium wants to do is really just reduce the friction, make it easy for a business to communicate with the customer and vice versa. If you make it simple, we know that convenience wins. Really, some of the Podium value drivers when it comes down to why people buy and use Podium, we really just increase customer acquisition and market share, right? We really are kind of a marketing arm to help drive more leads, more conversations. The other thing is we just want to be competitive and help you be modern, modernize the way that you do business, rather than maybe some of the old school methods. I think technology is out there. We want to use it. People like companies that are using technology. And then ultimately, improve business efficiencies, right? We feel like our product really adds well to what you're trying to do as a business owner in the way that you communicate and the way you run your business. So we want to be a value add in that way. Now, when it comes to Podium, what we love about Podium is we also have an inbox that can consolidate all different types of conversations. And I'm going to kind of pull up the Podium platform right now so you can see that firsthand. So when you sign up for Podium, you're going to get a Podium dashboard that looks just like this. And so everything is going to flow in and out of this inbox. And so we always recommend that any open messages are kind of your to-do list for that day. So we can pull messages in from our web chat widget that sits on your website that comes into here. And now you're texting back and forth with a customer, and that's flowing all through inbox. We also know that some businesses have, I don't know, a Facebook page. And so if a customer finds you on Facebook, they can message in right from Facebook, hey, do you offer this service, or can I get a quote on this? That message also is going to flow right into the Podium inbox. So really all you have to do is manage that Podium inbox and you're good to go. We also can do that with Google Click to Message. Some of you might be aware of this feature, that if somebody Googles you and they find you on Google, you probably have all seen this before, where you have the call, save, directions, and website. Well, we can help create this button called message. And so right from your GMB page, your Google My Business page, they can message you right from here. And once again, that message is going to flow right into your Podium inbox. So that's a really nice feature to have, that you just have to manage the Podium inbox, and you can have conversations throughout the day through that. The also nice thing is we know that some companies are on the go. And so we have a mobile app that allows businesses to manage their Podium account through a mobile app. So any member of your team can download that app and have access to their Podium account, and you can do everything right off a mobile device. So you don't have to be sitting in front of your computer all day long managing conversations. I want to kind of get into kind of showing how easy Podium really is to use. And so not only if you wanted to send a review invitation after a job, or maybe you get frequently asked questions, instead of typing it out the same answer multiple times, Podium has a template feature where you can come in here and you can set up hundreds of different templates to whatever questions that you might have. I know one of CMS's dealers, Taylor, he uses Podium quite a bit, and he uses this template feature quite often. And so you can have multiple templates throughout here. And so if someone messaged in, you can pick the template that you want, click on it, and it's ready to send right away. And so I'll kind of show you how easy it is even just to send out a review invitation. And so if you have a client that, you want to send a review invitation because you felt like they had a great experience, come in here, click on the plus button, click message, and now you can just type in the customer's name. And if they're loaded in the system already, it's going to preload. And from here, now I can choose this template button right here, and I can pick whatever template I want, whether it's a payment button, whether it's, hey, our text on the way, whatever template you want to add to that, you can. For this example, I'll just use a review invitation. I click that, it's going to preload the customer's name, your business, and can you take 30 seconds to leave us a quick review. Once you hit send, then it's going to come right to the customer's phone like a text message. And here it is. And now all the customer has to do is click the blue link. And because of our relationship with Google, we actually have access to some of their API, which allows this next step to be very easy and convenient. So if I have a Google account, I want to leave a Google review, and I click yes, it's going to log me into my Google account. I don't have to remember my username or password. Now all I have to do is click the number of stars that I want to leave, type in a quick review, and hit post, and I'm done. Super easy, convenient. We know that convenience wins. And so if you make that process short and easy, the chances of somebody leaving a review are that much greater. What's also nice within the platform is we can manage all those different reviews within Podium. And so if you come into your reviews tab right here, you can see all the different reviews that are being left. Not only can you see them, but you can respond to them within Podium. So once again, you can stay within Podium for a lot of what you're trying to do on the review side of things. Let's see. Another cool feature is our reporting feature. Everybody wants to know, hey, how do I know if Podium's working or not? So if you come into your dashboard, what's super nice is now you can we track pretty much everything analytically. And so, we'll track inbound leads, where they're coming from, right? Are they coming from Facebook Messenger? Are they coming from Google Click to Message? Are they coming from the web chat widget? We can track that month after month, which is super helpful. So you can see other type of marketing efforts and if they're working or not. We track total conversations, which is always good. Most of the time, if you're having conversations with customers, that's usually a good thing. We can also track total reviews month after month, where those reviews are being left, all the way down to we track review invitations. So who got a review invitation sent out to them, if they've clicked the link, and if they left a review. So we track all that. So there's really no guesswork when you turn Podium on. It's not like, hey, let's cross our fingers and hope it works. You can see it as soon as you turn Podium on. I kind of wanted to pause there for a second. Jackie, are there any questions?
Not yet, but I do want to also bring up the fact that, we kind of practice what we preach with regards to Podium. Jen and I, like we said, we met you guys, a few years back, and back at that time, it was a online reputation. Now it's just transitioned to all these different, it's a full service solution. I have been the recipient of Podium when it comes to my local installing dealer for my home uses Podium. And that was my first experience interacting with Podium. And it is just very seamless. It's very personal too, which is when you're the subscriber, getting the text. And also with regards to payments, my card expired. So I got a text saying, hey, go ahead, can you pay this? Your card seems to be expired. And one click, it was done. It was very, very simple. So that's saving time for that person in the office calling out, making those outbound calls when it comes to leads or sales opportunities. They are capturing that information. So if you go to the CMSN.com website, you will see there's a chat feature at the bottom corner that is actually manned by Jen and myself. So we do get plenty of inquiries, and we are capturing so much information just from that feature alone. And that has been really helpful for us, especially when it comes to dealers, just everyday questions. And we have a whole gamut of different types of questions that come into there. So we as CMS really love Podium. And so it is a game-changing decision, I think, when a dealer decides to kind of take that next step to use Podium, simply because you're really going to utilize all the different social media aspects, the online review, the constant communication of text messaging. All of that is so helpful when it comes to elevating your business.
Yeah, and I don't claim, and I appreciate that, Jackie. I don't claim to know your guys' industry as well as I should, but from some of the interactions I've had with some of the dealers that have signed up with Podium, what they love about it is when you're trying to access a customer and call them, not everybody picks up the phone, and you're just hoping that they get the message, right? If you leave a message, we know nowadays, if I don't recognize the area code or the phone number, I just let it go to voicemail. But the power of texting is you can get information to a customer via text, and with almost 100% surety they're going to see that message. And so that portion is very powerful. And in the fact that now as a business, you don't have multiple employees texting customers off of their personal cell phone. All the messaging is done through texting, is done through the Podium platform. And so within the inbox, you can always go back to closed conversations and see what the conversation was. in what the response was. And so there's really no like, oh, well, they were texting an employee who's no longer with us anymore on their cell phone, and I don't know what kind of communications they were having. You can keep everybody that is employed in your business on Podium, and you can have record of it. So super safe and easy to do that. Wanted to kind of walk you through the power of that web chat widget. It's super helpful as Jackie mentioned. So if I go to cms.com, right, I believe that's your
CMSN as in Nancy, because
sorry.
we just have to make things more difficult. You know,
.com.
there we go. That's us.
And so what's nice about the web chat widget is, as you see, it pops right up. So it
There's Jen.
It reduces bounce rates. And what happens here is if I have a question or I need to reach out to your business, they click on this. Now all they have to do is type in their name and their cell phone number. And then whatever question it might be, you know, do you offer, or I need a quote on whatever that might be. And once they hit send, they're going to get a notification right back to their cell phone saying, hey, thanks for messaging in CMS. Somebody will be with you shortly. And that message is going to flow, as we talked about, into this inbox.
Do you want to go ahead and show, and I can show how it'll send a push notification to my phone?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so I'm
interact with that.
Need a quote. And once I hit send, I'm going to get right here on the phone, we've received your message.
Here you see that it says,
be with you, we're texting you back at this number. So now I know I can go about my day. I can leave the website and I can go about that day, and I'm getting a text message. I know that's kind of bad Zoom etiquette, but I just got that text message on my phone, and now we can go back and forth. So makes it super and easy and convenient to do that.
So I just sent it back to you, Mike, so you should be able to see it via text. And now we're just having a texting conversation.
Yeah, we're just going back and forth, and it's really nice. Now your business, your website has become textable. And once again, going back to, that's the way people want to communicate, is via text. One thing I also wanted to note before we start to end out of time, we are in the process of working with an integration with Compass, with CMS. And so we're getting closer and closer to have that done. And so now the nice thing about that is you won't have to be living in so many different systems, that there'll be an integration between CMS and Compass. So that should be very helpful in the future.
Yeah, definitely helpful. And we have a couple dealers that have been early adopters to Podium, and they've shown us how they utilize both Compass and tandem with Podium, especially those templates and messaging out. You know, they come in and they look at their history from the night before. Okay, I see we have, you know, comm fails. Well, we know that Mrs. Smith needs a new radio because the sunset. So they can create a template and send it out just to those subscribers who are in need of that. And again, it's very personal. So when you're receiving it, it is your name that it's being texted to, and it seems as though someone is just going to work texting out from the office, but it's really clean. If you think about how far we have come with regards to texting, I mean, I had a beeper in our pager, I guess is another, I don't know, depending where you're from. And, you know, that's how I communicated with my family and my friends in high school. And then you had those analog phones where you had to, like, you know, hit 222 and then 3, and then you had to, till you got to that letter and to the number. And then that was so tedious. And I'm thinking, why am I doing this? But I'm doing it anyway. So now we've become so, I guess, I don't want to say lazy, but just so accustomed to having easy communication with texting, that you have the capability to literally just talk into your phone and get and text. So we are constantly getting inundated with text, constantly getting inundated with emails, but with texting, people just respond quicker and they respond better, myself included. If you text me, almost immediately I'll get to it. my inbox gets jammed up. So I do think that there's such a huge value to us pushing Podium, making sure, again, just elevating your business, giving, if you're a small to medium-sized company, you're now able to compete with a much larger company that would have the same offering. And Mike, if you just will briefly discuss kind of, Podium is so much bigger than just security, right? I mean, you guys are in every different space.
Yeah, and that's where kind of we alluded, where we touch 1 out of 3 cell phones, and the fact that we're in any home service company, we're in healthcare, we're in auto services, we're in retail stores, brick and mortar retail stores, furniture, jewelry, we're in professional services, attorneys, lawyers, real estate agents. They're all using Podium because they know the power of texting and communicating with their customers, down to the fact that, hey, if I can text them a review invitation, I'm more likely for them to leave a review than if I email it to them or I just ask them. And then it's just a reciprocal effect. That is, if I can keep getting more and more reviews, people find me more often, I get more leads, they contact me on my web chat widget, they have a good experience, they leave a review. It's just, it's a great cycle. And we understand that the patient journey, or excuse me, the customer journey is changing. And so being able to communicate with them using technology just makes you a no-brainer to do business with.
Yeah, because people just don't want to talk on the phone anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the situation. Unless you're like hunkering down for a long conversation, unanswered calls don't, or unknown calls don't get answered, I should say. We as CMS struggle with this every day when we're making outbound calls to try to verify events. People just traditionally are hesitant, obviously, to pick up unknown numbers heavily because of telemarketers. So the texting is just, a clear, concise message that has always been really good.
And it's even now to the point where you can just text somebody saying, hey, I'll be calling you at this number. They know who you are. They screened it. Now they'll most likely pick up your phone call rather than just calling them blindly. So we've seen a lot of businesses do that as well. So I guess right at the end, I just kind of wanted to walk through, I know we're coming up on time. We have some special pricing.
You're good.
We have some special pricing for CMS customers and CMS dealers, that you do get special pricing if you go through CMS. I know some of you maybe have seen Podium and reached out to Podium before. You could all, and try to sign up directly, but going through CMS, this value partnership that we have with them, there are really some benefits, not only pricing, but also making sure that you take care of support wise. We have a dedicated support person that will get you trained, get you onboarded, as well as making sure that if there are any other issues, moving forward, we take care of those as quickly as possible. So we have 3 different packages. We have a Review Plus package that starts at $249 a month. That really comes in just to kind of get started. That allows you to have at least 250 unique conversations per month. And then we get up to our Marketing Plus, which is the $349 per month, and then all the way down to the $449, up to the $449. You get all the same products. You get the inbox, you get the review invitations capability, you get the web chat widget, you get the payments. They all fit in the same, you get all the same products in any of these packages. It really comes down to the number of unique conversations that you're having. So the $249, you get 250 unique conversations. The $349, you get 500, and then the $449 is the unlimited. We're starting to see a lot of CMS dealers going with the $449 just because there's no worry about hitting limits or having to upgrade. They just jump right to the $449 package. So I know Jackie and Jennifer have a ton of information, but you're welcome to reach out to me. I will, in the chat, I'll put in my my email address, and I am more than happy to have conversations, jump on the phone, answer any questions, go through more of a deeper dive demo if you would like. More than happy to do that.
And Mike, you've been so helpful, and you've already reached out to so many of our customers and some of our dealers talking through it. And then you have someone behind you named Dougie who would actually do the setup process. So if you are interested in, getting more information about Podium or signing with Podium, or even talking to some of our other customers who are using Podium, obviously we are a user of Podium ourselves, just don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to do that. Also, you can get this pricing. You just, like every other service with CMS, you would just get an executed agreement, basically saying this is with regards to what I expect to get billed every month. And then we would just get you going. And it takes about 3 to 5 business days to get implemented. Is that still accurate, Mike?
Yeah, we can do it pretty quickly. And I probably shouldn't have done this, but I threw my cell in there. I kind of practice what I preach. I prefer text. I mean, if you saw the text chain between me and Jackie, that's kind of how we communicate. So, if you're not a big emailer, feel free to call me or even text me on that number. So.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I think we'll just take like a 5-minute break before our next presenter, who is going to be Scott with ICT. Many of you might be going, ICT, I've never heard of ICT. They are an awesome panel manufacturer who is going to be more in the commercial grade space or enterprise solution. And we met them a couple of years back and just really impressed with them. So he will be on here shortly, but let's do like maybe a 5-minute bio break and then we'll regroup. I'll keep the chat open. Any questions, again, just pop them in the Q&A and we'll circle back with them.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Mike.
Mhm.
Hey, everybody. Unfortunately, something has come up for our ICT presenter, so he will not be able to join us today, but I will give a quick overview of ICT. So our ICT, again, is that going to be the enterprise solution that will integrate with different types of access control systems. So we're talking school systems, hospitals, larger campuses. I mean, this is going to be a significant manufacturer. So they have something called an Arbor IP panel, which is that something that we can receive at CMS. I think we're one of 2 central stations that can currently support it. So for a lot of dealers that use, that higher end, more robust offering, ICT is a great solution. So they're based here. They have an office here in Minnesota, but they're actually based out of New Zealand, which is kind of interesting. So of course I've begged for an excuse to go do a site tour, but I've yet to get that approved. So with that being said, so we're going to have Randy Marowitz, who is with CheKT America. CheKT America is our PERS program that we partnered with probably like late 2020. He is also a customer. So with regards to our relationship, is CheKT America is a very large PERS outfit. They are nationwide. I think they're one of the largest in the country. And they also are working with our dealers. So they purchase, hi Randy, I'm just going to give a brief overview with you real quick. They purchased one of our customers in Miami, and that was a great customer of ours. And they did just such a great job with regards to implementing and rolling out their mobile PERS solutions. Randy came to me and said, man, did any of your security dealers ever want to do PERS? And I said, well, it's kind of a different animal. It's not as simple as like, obviously it's a very simple application and simple install, but it's just a totally different market. So that's kind of where we got this brainstorm going, and, massive kudos to Randy and his hard work. And we've been working together pretty hard on this program for about a year now. And so he's going to give an overview of that program. So without further ado, Randy, I gave just a quick introduction, but if you want to see if you can share your screen.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited to kind of recharge this program. We understand during the past couple of years, or at least in the last 15 or so months since we launched this program, you guys were up against a heavy lift with the 3G sunset, as you're probably still going through. So I don't want to cause any undue headaches. That said, we do have this additional revenue stream for you. Let me share my screen real quick. Share, and let me know. Jen, can you see? No, no, you can't see it.
We can see it. It's not in the presentation mode, but I can see. Yep, there you go.
I have it. I have my second monitor plugged in, and whatever I pop up on my my laptop likes to jump to that second monitor. So, so basically, what we've introduced is an all-inclusive plan, or a turnkey program, if you will, between CheKT America and CMS, which allows you as the alarm dealer to use us for your inventory on the shelf without having to make an investment. So just to kind of give you a brief overview of the way that the partnership works, is we have 4 different types of PERS systems. We have the 2 systems for in the home, which is your traditional 2-way landline connection, or it could be through traditional landline or voice over IP. And then we have our in-home cellular, which has a built-in SIM card. And we are getting ready to load into Compass under our inventory the Verizon version of the cellular 2-way in-home. Right now, the AT&T one's the only one in there. So in the coming week or so, we should have the ability to push out Verizon in-home units. And then we have 2 different devices in the mobile category for you. Okay, what happens is with this slide where it says all devices are activated, tested, and under warranty, when we take your order, and we have a simple intake form that we use, where we require the name, address, and phone number of your subscriber. And you check a box for the unit type, check a box for whether or not automatic fall detection is needed, and check a box if you want to ship it directly to the subscriber. We pull the unit off the shelf. We activate it in Compass under our account. We test the device, do a live two-way call. Then we turn it back off, we box it, and we ship it directly to your client. They pull it out of the box, plug it in, and it's good to go. So that's kind of how that system works. So there's no inventory to be carried on this. So you're not having to worry about purchasing manufacturer minimum requirements and either having a bunch of units on the shelf or getting charged for a bunch of units, cellular connection fee for those units on the shelf. We also support you with a lockbox at no cost, so the client can put a spare key in case they're alone and emergency services comes and tries to get in their house. They're not breaking a window or damaging a door frame to gain access. They just simply dial the code that we give them at the point of dispatch and let themselves in. So again, there's no inventory requirements. We are doing direct fulfillment. That fulfillment can either come directly to you as the dealer if you want to put your vans or trucks out in community to be seen while you're doing an install or delivery of the unit, or we can drop ship directly to your client, which expands your footprint and enables you to reach a much wider area, including a nationwide basis if you're doing any online ordering. We do support you with marketing materials. These are co-branded at no cost to you. It's our device solutions on our templated marketing piece, but with your logo, your colors, and your contact information. And those are, again, provided all the way through the printing and delivery and shipping at no cost to you. And then we also give you website tools if you want to build a PERS page on your website. We'll give you the approved copy and the images for the devices, so you could just stand a page up pretty quickly with your web developers. The way that we set this up is any dealers that are interested, we kind of try to do a one-on-one, or we used to do, Jackie, we used to do those regional or actually it was a Wednesday call, and any dealer interested
Yes.
Throughout the entire country would jump on our Wednesday webinar. We would give this entire presentation and any interested dealers will come back to us. We send out 2 agreements. One agreement is from ConnectAmerica America that has your pricing structure. The other agreement is a PERS MMA from CMS, which looks identical to your alarm agreement, but it's built for PERS. No money in this program goes to CMS on your behalf. It gets paid to us. We pay the monitoring fees under our contract with CMS. CMS will assign you a separate dealer account number that you would find in Compass. That would be your PERS account. When we ship out the device, we send a notification to CMS. They move that account number for that device under your dealer ID. We send you a FedEx tracking notification saying that a unit has gone out. That's your indication that it has gone from our dealer ID to yours in Compass. So again, we're acting as your inventory. Then you would go into Compass at that point, and all the other subscriber information, like who they want to be an emergency responder, what their date of birth is, where they're going to hide the lockbox, all of that stuff you would put into the Compass portal. Okay, but we will provide you with, with the appropriate forms. Like I said, the co-branded marketing material. We have the intake form that you can fill out and email to us. And we also can support you with a subscriber agreement. It's not the Kirschenbaum agreement. It's very close. A lot of the verbiage in there is almost identical because it's a PERS agreement, but we'll provide that to you with our PERS agreement with your logo and company information in there, so you can sign that with your subscriber and not have to pay for the agreement. So we'll brand it for you. And then you get ongoing support from both the CMS and ConnectAmerica America side. If you have any equipment-oriented questions, you need us to track down a delivery, you've got a device that needs to be swapped out because the client ran it over with their car, or it's not holding a charge, or they dropped it in a lake, that's us. You have a Compass or connectivity issue, they pressed their button, they heard the client answer, but it went nowhere. That would be something you deal with CMS. Okay, so this kind of tells you everything that I just kind of rolled through, where you send us the intake form all the way up through the completion of the install. You are allowed to sticker these units. So if you decide to bring them in and then deliver them, put your own sticker on it so your clients are calling you. Otherwise, the unit will have the 800 number for CMS's customer service, who's only going to be able to instruct them to contact their dealer. They're not going to be able to answer any questions outside of that because it's just kind of going to dealer support. Okay, just to roll through the different products that you have here. If you've touched the PERS business before, you're already familiar with the landline. It's the one that's been around since the late 70s. It's a two-way connection. You've got the home phone routed into the back and the cable running from the other port to the wall jack or DSL filter or internet router, whatever the phone connection is. It will not work with any of the satellite-based phone services. It won't work with Vonage, Magic Jack, those old school things, if they're even still around, or the AT&T Uverse home phone or Verizon home phone connect, because those are a cellular connection that they don't register the signal from an accessory that's plugged in. The buttons that come with it, you get a standard pendant and wrist button. They both come with the unit. It does have a battery backup. The buttons are water safe for shower and bath. This tells you what your dealer cost is for the unit per month. This includes lease of the unit and monitoring that's being done by CMS. And then what the add-on cost would be wholesale for a fall detection pendant. And I have a chart at the end that will show you the margins for all of these devices. Most people don't have a landline. If they do, it's through the cable internet company. If the power goes out, so does their phone service. So we're seeing on the in-home side of the business, about 97 to 98% of all new installs are in the cellular category. This will tell you, this bullet point here tells you that it's available on the AT&T cellular network. That is an LTE signal, LTE installed SIM card. But we are adding the Verizon one as well. So you will have two network options. So when you fill out your intake form to send it, you'll be specifying whether you want the AT&T or the Verizon version of this product. Okay, so this is cellular in nature. It will work when the power goes out because you have the battery backup, and because it's cellular, it'll still push the call through. I'm going to skip this one for a second and come back to it. This all-in-one product, the Anelto on the go, just to give you an idea of the size and weight of this device, it's 2¼ inches across, 3¼ inches tall, about a ½ inch thick, and it weighs just under 2 ounces. This is shower and bath safe. It is a GPS-based product, so we'll be able to update their location wherever they're standing in the country. This is available on the AT&T or the Verizon network. Again, you would select the network at the time of order. And if the client needs fall detection, it's actually built in. So it is an all-in-one device. What comes with it in the box is the device, the charging station, which is just a little flat panel and a plug. That's it. Then we have an upgraded, or what I call a hybrid mobile, which is basically the same device, but instead of having just the device to press the button, there's a connected accessory button. Just know that the two-way is still on the device itself. This button will let them go about 150 or so feet away from the unit and still be able to push the signal. What they get in the box is one button, 2 housings. You have a pendant housing. It'll snap out of that and snap into a wristwatch housing. Those are available in white or black. It comes with the unit itself, a portable pouch with a belt clip in case they leave the house and they want to wear the button on their wrist. They can just put the unit in the pouch, throw it in a bag or on their belt. And it comes with a upgraded charging station that has a GPS homing beacon built into it. So what happens is when the button is pressed anywhere within the 150-foot proximity, when the account pops on the screen at the central station, the operator will see the homing beacon when the button was pressed in the home. If it falls out of that 150-foot range, then the operator knows to push a location update to be able to dispatch authorities to where the person is because they're not home. Additionally, if they need to have fall detection in this product, it is in the form of a separate pendant. It was designed like that on purpose for people wearing pacemakers or internal defibrillators. They shouldn't have anything with radio frequency or magnetic pull sitting on the chest outside of that device because it could be a signal disruptor and might interrupt the data that's being transmitted back to the physician that's monitoring their embedded device. I have yet in 15 years seen one actually affect the function of a pacemaker or defibrillator. It's only the data transfer. Think of it as if you were to dial in on this call with your cell phone and not have your computer on mute, you're going to get feedback. Same thing would happen if the PERS is engaged and making an active call while the pacemaker is trying to transmit data to the doctor. It's probably going to come in all scrambled because it's creating feedback. It's the only way I can really identify it.
No, that's really helpful because that's really good information.
Yeah, well, and we got the magnetic specifications from Anelto. Once the device would be 3 inches away from the embedded hardware inside the chest, it doesn't register any kind of effect at all. There's no impact on function. That is good to know because, if they're wearing it on the outside of their chest and they've got something that's located maybe behind the heart or on top of the heart, and you draw a diagonal line and it's more than 3 inches, it's not going to be an issue anyway. So we have the automatic fall detection pendant. You see there's 2 different colors. The white and red one goes with the in-home unit. The silver and black one goes with the mobile LTE, the hybrid mobile unit. And then if you're doing the all-in-one unit, it's embedded in the device. It can be turned on, it can be turned off, at the discretion of the subscriber. If they call you and say, hey, I just had a knee replacement, I need that fall detection turned on, we can do that for you. The lockbox, I covered this already, but these are at no cost to you. Take advantage of that. It's a good way to close some of the sales to say, order now and get a free lockbox. It's a good closing tool. And then this right here gives you a little bit of an example. The mobile on the go is where I like to go to because it's the all-in-one system. Probably accounts for about 75% of dealer placement across the country right now. And so just to kind of show you the margins, if you went online and looked at any competitor's mobile service, it's going to be right there in that $40 to $45 price range. And that's actually on the lower end for some competitors. I've seen them as high as $55 without fall detection. So knowing that your cost is $20 a month for that unit without fall detection, you have an instant profit margin of $20 to $25 a month. And that is real revenue. That's real margin. You're not contributing that back to paying off whatever you bought in inventory. There's no recovery period where you say, oh, I got to keep them on for 6 months to pay myself back for the unit that I bought from the manufacturer or distributor, because you're not buying it. So these are margins that you're able to add to your bottom line with no investment. Okay, and then if you add fall detection, it does add a retail price add-on of $10 per month, which with the cost difference gives you an additional $5 in profit margin. So if you sell a mobile on the go on the high end at $55 with the included fall detection, you're going to pull $30 a month in profit margin. And that's the overview of the company. Or of the program. I wanted to open it up for any questions and answers, and I can come back to the presentation for reference if you need.
Thanks, Randy. Do you have any demos that you can show with regards to size, or they're about the size of a key fob, right? But they're very small with regards to the on-the-go device.
Right. It's the size of an old school folded flip phone if it was really slimline. Think about the Motorola Razor when it was closed. It's not as wide as the Razor. It's 2¼ inches across. The width of the device doesn't even take up half the width of a dollar bill.
Right. So,
Yeah.
if you're a dealer and you have been intrigued by this market, you want to get into this space, but you just don't know how to do it. It just seems too overwhelming or too intimidating. This is where this partnership comes into play. So Randy has an immense amount of history and experience with regard to the PERS market, but also CheKT America is such a great company, and they're so well respected in this space. So, if you're wanting to get into this segment, if you're wanting to get into medical monitoring or having some form of a PERS solution, you have, subscribers going, hey, do you have anything like this? This would be a great way to do it. There's no, capital investment. You are already partnering with a great company that's going to help you out with marketing materials and setup. There's not a massive training involved with regards to the manufactured equipment. Randy and CheKT America have, tested, and they have vetted different manufacturers for years and years and years. And so they know the best products to use, and they have the most confidence with regards to the Mitrex home device and the Inalto mobile PERS devices. And so for that, when you're pressing your button, we, as our operator, we're getting that link to pop open the Inalto portal, which will then give us the Latin launch and also provide us with the the closest address that we are then going to dispatch off of where they are currently located. So, sometimes people will say, oh, well, my mom likes to go on a walk. I just wanted to have when she's going on a walk for her to wear this. That's a perfect thing, for her to wear. It's very lightweight, it's very comfortable. She can shower with it. Of course, she'll have to charge it, but you have to charge everything nowadays. So anything else, Randy, that you can think of with regards to, someone who's not in this space, who wants to get into this kind of corner of the market?
Yeah. So what we typically see with the dealers is they have some great outside of the box ideas. Some dealers are placing this with teachers or realtors or people that go out into the community alone and using it as almost like a mobile panic alarm, to the point where we're looking at testing that SOP a little bit more in depth for like a lone worker type program. But I had a dealer out of Wisconsin that formed a partnership with a DME company that sells wheelchairs, walkers, and scooters, and they're referring patients to them for PERS when they're getting their DME, and there's no financial exchange. It's just people want to protect the individuals out in community. We also do have a buck slip, if you call it, or an invoice insert that we can support you with. We'll print as many as you need, or you can use it electronic if you're doing email billing, something that you could stuff into a bill and send to your existing subscriber base for alarm. A lot of you have some pretty hefty customer bases, and those people might know somebody that could use it, and because they rely on you for their home security or commercial security, they may want to have you talk to their loved one or friend or family member for a PERS unit. That's a good idea to put those out. We custom make those for you as well, or co-brand them for you. We have a template, and it fits into as small as a number 8 invoice envelope. As far as the rep support goes, I know what I do during meetings is I give the dealers somewhere to go in the medical communities, hospital discharge planners, nursing home rehab facilities, outpatient or inpatient rehab facilities where somebody's maybe post-op from a surgery or a amputation, or they might be recovering from a stroke and still have those balance issues. Those PT and OT nurses will be more than happy to refer to you locally. So these are all places you could just drop off brochures and, some kind of referral form that they can send to you to refer their patients, and they won't expect anything in return financially.
Yeah, and I just kind of feel like there's no harm in trying to do this. I mean, there's no, like I said, there's no investment for you as a dealer. You can just pop this in your sales reps when they're going out and about and they're, hopefully closing their deals and they're trying to get all their paperwork signed. They can then look at the subscriber and say, hey, just so you know, in case you have anyone that ever needs this device, we covered. Everyone knows someone who probably needs this. And that's just, I think, a global issue nowadays. Everyone's living longer, thank goodness, but you also want to stay independent longer as well. And so, providing that service and providing that freedom to do that is really powerful. So I think that if I'm a security dealer who has never been in this space before, this is the turnkey solution to do it. You literally get the agreement signed that is provided by CheKT America. So you don't have to go buy a contract or get one drafted up by your attorney, which is very nice and appreciated. Then you get it signed, you get it sent over to CA. CheKT America will then take that and create the Shelby account, like he said, and then he will send it out to you, the dealer. So it is ready to go. All you have to do is go into the wonderful Compass, pull up the account, and then populate just a few, items that are needed with regards to the data. And then it's ready to go. It's live. So there's no programming, there's no hassle. They also, like he said, test it with us before they ship it out. So it's just a really great program in order to provide you guys ease and giving you that ability to feel like, okay, I know I have this, this support, especially when it comes to CheKT America. They are really great when it comes to support. And, each local rep. Randy's out of Florida, but you basically cover like half the country, I feel like, at this point, right, Randy?
Yeah, it's easier to name the states I don't know.
Yeah, but you don't support versus what you do support.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Randy, would you populate your information in the chat?
Yeah.
So I can reach out to you with any questions they may have.
Yeah, sure thing. Let me put it up here too. And,
oh, perfect.
Yep. And then I'll go into the, well, is it going to let me? Come on. Oh, hold on. I have to stop share to get the screen back. All right, let me go to the chat window real quick, and I'll just put it down there. Come on, there it is.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So if any questions, feel free to reach out, or you can ask, again, we have that Q&A feature that I'll be monitoring in the bottom, and Randy's super responsive, speaking of text, very responsive via text. So there's anyone that needs additional, like maybe we need to go over this again, or maybe you're not the point of contact in the office that would be handling it. If you have someone else that you have an idea would be kind of maybe running this program, just reach out to us. Let us know. We are happy to review this with them so they feel comfortable and have the knowledge that they need in order to make a decision. But again, you're just going to be signing our MMA that you've already signed, but it does not have any pricing on it. The reason being, everything is going to be run through CheKT America for the prices that he showed previously. So it's all included bundled pricing that has the monitoring cost, it has the support, it has the marketing, and has the equipment all lumped into one monthly fee. But that's about it. So Randy, thank you so much for taking the time today.
My pleasure. You guys have a great day.
We love PERS and we love CheKT America.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, great. So we are going to pivot. That's what we're going to do. Just like Friends. If you don't know what episode I'm talking about, it's my favorite one. So we're going to go ahead, and ICT is going to join us. They're going to join us in just a few minutes. to talk about their Armor IP. So that is great. We have a person named Scott joining, so that's fantastic. So we'll be back in about 4 minutes. Thanks.
Hey, Jackie.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good, good.
What's
Awesome.
happening?
Man, we're just living it.
Well, that's good.
Great day. Okay, so we can go ahead and get started. Scott, okay with you? Scott Black with ICT. I kind of give an overview briefly about how you guys are a predominantly enterprise solution and that you're going to focus on Armor IP today. And obviously you're out of Florida. You're the regional rep for Florida. Is that all you cover, Scott, or you cover the entire Southeast?
I cover the entire Southeast and South. So Oklahoma, Texas.
Nice.
To the
Okay.
Carolinas.
Just a small territory. Very, so not a problem. Okay, great. And you guys are out of New Zealand. Your products are your headquarters is out of New Zealand, correct?
That is correct. Yep. We're manufactured in New Zealand.
Awesome. So like I joked earlier, I have to say the joke again. I'm waiting for my work trip to New Zealand to do some research. So
there you go.
Anytime. So if you want to go ahead and share your screen and we can just get started, that'd be great.
All right. Let me get this figured out real quick.
No worries.
I just walked in from a meeting, so I'm like running a little behind.
No, you're fine. Do you see where it says share screen at the bottom and it's like a box with an arrow?
There we go.
Perfect.
All right. Can everybody see that?
Looks great.
Good to go.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to kind of touch on, I guess, ICT as a whole, and then kind of get into Armor IP, because Armor IP is fairly simple as far as the way we connect with it. But I'll just give you a quick background on the company. I'm going to kind of fly through some of these little slides because I don't want to bore everybody to death. But let me go here. That's our office in Auckland, New Zealand. So that's where everything is manufactured that has an ICT sticker on it, which is pretty predominantly everything that we sell. We have like 35% of our company's R&D there, and we have about 350 employees in that location. We also have offices in Auckland. Denver is our home office for the US, Toronto and Melbourne. So when I guess somebody's calling for tech support, they almost have 24/7 coverage just with the different time zones there. I'm going to kind of go over the products real quick. Card readers, basically that's kind of the door keys to your world. These are 256-bit encrypted to our controllers if we're wiring it with RS-45. If you're wiring this with Wiegand, of course, there's no encryption between Wiegand and the controller. So we recommend everybody install with RS-45 or OSDP to get that high bit rate for encryption. We do offer Bluetooth and NFC. If we're wiring to a competitor system, we can wire it in OSDP or Wiegand. With a competitor system, we are OSDP certified. So you only get 128-bit encryption with that. And you get two-way communication with RS-45 and OSDP. We can do multi-tech card readers and cards for transitioning projects. And all of our readers are IP65 protected. This is kind of what our controller looks like in our hardware. We don't just use open boards. We have them in an enclosure. And this is what your, I guess the ARMR IP would connect to right here. It gives a lot of information just by the lights. So a technician can look and see what's going on, and by what lights are blinking and how many times. Those status lights can give them troubleshooting ideas of what's happening down the end. But with ARMR IP, basically, they have that internet connection. And once they hook up ARMR IP and use that protocol to talk to the central station, which is CMS, that information sent automatically. So it's a very, very simple way of connecting to the monitoring station. All that information is also 256-bit encrypted. Just kind of what all our hardware looks like. These are door expansion boards. They look just like our controllers. We kind of like everything to kind of have that same look and feel. So if you're using a WX system, which is our single door system, or using a GX Enterprise system, all these parts are the same. The only difference is our controllers. I'm just going to kind of run through this quickly. We pre-wire the kits for you. So you order how many doors you want, and we do all the heavy wiring for you. So that saves you about 40% time in the field. So you guys can get in there and get out a lot quicker. You need wireless locks. We also have kits for wireless locks. We work with Salto. We work with Allegiant and also Asa Abloy. If you needed just intruder detection, we do also offer that. LTE modems. If you have a site where they won't let you on their network, you can talk to CMS via this wireless modem and not have to be on the network as well. And then these are our intrusion keypads. The most commonly used are the two in the middle. This one's more of an industrial keypad that's on the right-hand side because of the rubber buttons. And this touch screen is going away. They're developing a new touch screen that kind of does a little more than just become a touch screen. It'll be more of an information hub. So we should be seeing that hopefully by the end of the year. We use Innovonics wireless receiver and wireless devices for intrusion. And then we also have video call boxes along with multifamily stations. This is our WX product. This is a quick to easy, no software to install, out of the box solution. Basically, you connect it to the network and you web browse into it to control it. And there's no other software, no other fees that are associated with WX. This is kind of the stats on WX. For a simple one-door solution, it's pretty robust. We call it anytime, anywhere access because you can basically program this from a tablet or your computer or your cell phone, even if you just browse into the web page. This is for somebody that just kind of wants to set it and forget it. This just shows the architecture of our products. And so with WX, you have your WX, which is online. Everything else is wired RS-45. If you do have a large building and you want to use a network repeater, we do sell a little network repeater device that continues the RS-45 daisy chain that can sit on the network, but it will only go, I think it's like 1,000 to 2,000 feet. So it's not meant to use in like a multi-building solution. If you have multi-buildings, you always want to go enterprise. So you have a controller in each building. The other thing we do a little differently is read in, read out is done on the same reader port. The software will, you can tell the software which is read in, which is read out, and you're not wasting another reader port when you need that kind of, I guess, that kind of access. GX, designed for the end user. This is our enterprise solution. You create graphical interfaces that you can interact with. These status pages are all customizable, so you can pretty much bring anything you want to it onto this screen. We do offer camera integrations. If you have your status page list and you see oh, sorry, let me get ahead of myself. You can control lights, building automation, everything just by right-clicking into the screen. You can do a lockdown. Like I said, you can have multiple locations with sites and pull up different sites if it's on your system, and you have access to that as well. This is our standard user. Add a user here. Basically hit the plus sign, add a user, enter the information. You can do random pins for your intrusion, and you get up to 8 different types of credentialing technology, biometrics, Bluetooth, what have you. This just shows our camera integration here. We can control PTZs. If somebody came through the door, you wanted to research it, you can have a little 30-second slider to kind of see what happened during the event, or if they said they slipped and fell, you can go back and research that in our system, get your timestamp, and you can go into your VMS and build your whole case against that person if you need to. Also, temperature, humidity sensors, as well as power variables we can tie into via BACnet. This is another type of status page. Basically, if you have a little icon there, that means there's a camera associated with that entry. So you can click on that and go back and review what happened during that time. And then reporting, we have a full reporting feature where you can filter all your events in the software and then print exactly what you want or send that in an email to someone that needs it. These can all also be done automatically. This just shows the GX architecture. Basically, the only difference is a controller. Everything else is downstream. And if you have a different location, then you just add another controller at your remote site and build it out with your daisy chain network. Integrations. So far, we integrate with these VMS companies. That list is growing. And then also these wireless lock manufacturers. Spoke about Innovonics and optics earlier as far as intrusion detection. And that just shows a schematic on how that goes together. And then high-level elevator integration if you need that. And then we also have several custom integration tools. Our SOAP service basically acts as somebody remotely programming the software. I could have somebody go to a web page, put in their information, pay for it. And then after they pay for it, they'd get an email receipt and say, you can go to this gym at 4 o'clock and use tennis court 1 by entering this code. It'll automatically shut down after an hour, whatever their time allotted. And so that just kind of automates intrusion system or access an intrusion system. So you don't have to have someone physically doing it every time. Data sync is kind of like our Active Directory. We do sell Active Directory, but it's only the first and last name that gets sent across the system. By using data sync, we can create CSV files via payroll software, or Active Directory could write a script and create a CSV file and then send that CSV file across to GX so you're not having to do double entry. And then, of course, automation and controls via BACnet and Modbus into different control systems. And then you get an app that you can also control the system with that's no charge. The Bluetooth credentials live within the app. So once you log into the app, your Bluetooth credential is there. If you lose your phone or get a new phone, you just download the app again, and your credential is going to be in your app once you sign in. Any questions so far?
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Yeah, so I didn't want to bore you with too many things, but RMR IP is really fairly simple as far as, you know, what we do with it. Let me pull up one more screen. Let's see if I have this. I thought I had a module on it, but I guess I don't have it. It must be on my boss's computer. But anyway, it's just a quick internet connection that you're going to use on that. So you can kind of get in and get out fairly quick, and you're not having to do a lot of configurations. It's already configured for you once you use the IP protocol and point it to CMS. And I didn't want to take up too much time, but that's kind of it in a nutshell there.
Great, thank you so much. So Scott, if I'm a person that's interested in, you know, ICT, where would I go to purchase a panel? Would I go through an independent distributor? Or
Yeah, so you can go, you can purchase through Graybar. You can also purchase through Accutech. And then we also still do direct.
Okay, great. Do you guys still work with SDI in Atlanta? I can't remember.
Yes, we do. Yep.
Okay,
SDI
great.
is another, you know, integrator, or not integrator, but distributor up in that area. For WX, there's just basically you do some online training and you can install WX. For GX, there's a certification process. You'd sign up with, you know, call me, we'll get you signed up. There's a $4,500 fee that comes along with it to get certified.
Mhm.
That gets 2 technicians trained in Denver, and we cover all the traveling expenses with that $4,500, with the exception
Okay.
of a rental car. We don't do the rental car because of insurance purposes, but we basically feed them, house them, get them trained, and then they get a demo kit that they can bring back with them in a Pelican case, and 2 software licenses to play around with it and practice and do demos on. So
Okay, so if you're wanting to get certified with WX, you would go to Denver, you would get, and how long is that training process?
for GX.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's a 3-day training.
Okay, oh, it's a 3-day training. Okay, great. So if you don't mind, if you do me a favor, what I've been having everyone do is, if you see where the chat feature is, if you'll pop your information, your contact info into that, that'd be really helpful so people know how to contact you. Of course, you guys can always call me, reach out to me with regards to questions of all things RMR IP. Again, we're one of the couple central stations, I think, still in the US that have that capability to support. So we are really excited to do that. And Scott, thank you so much for joining today.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me. Everybody have a good day.
Thank
All right,
you.
have a great one.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, Scott.
Yep.
Okay, so next we have Gerardo, who obviously I think is an industry legend. Everyone knows Gerardo, I would think, especially in the Southeast. Gerardo has a ton of experience with regards to not only alarm manufacturing, but also when it comes to the receiver side, right? Gerardo, that was your kind of your previous life before you came over, switched over. Oh no.
Absolutely. Jack, I'm sorry. Just
No, you're good. Okay, just making sure. I was like, I hope you're connected.
getting myself out of mute.
I know it's a dark place to be living, is in mute. So let me kind of do a brief introduction to Gerardo. Gerardo is out of Orlando area. He covers the Florida region, and that's all you have, correct, Gerardo?
Pretty much I have, it's a little bit of a weird area for me, I'm gonna say, because typically you get your sales reps, just dividing, starting from I-4, south and north. In my case, I like to say that I pretty much cover the entire West Coast, back across Jacksonville and down to Melbourne and everything else in between.
Yeah, well, we know all about having sales reps having crazy territories. That makes sense to us. So we know all about that. But so Gerardo's been with, I knew as DSC. Obviously that has grown. It's now Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls has such a huge portfolio that he now covers and represents, and he does a fantastic job. Everyone that works with Gerardo, it's just a great experience. You're super responsive, very reliable. And so just without further ado, I'll let you kind of take over and just kind of review a couple different products.
Absolutely. And I appreciate Jackie and CMS team for having me, here today. So I'm going to start, just saying good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, as just mentioned, I'd like to thank CMS for having me being part of this online event. Also, I'd like to thank the viewers, our security dealers, for carving out the time out of their busy agendas to meet us all in this virtual platform. One of many, I'd like to say. Allow me to introduce myself. I know that Jackie just kind of did. For those of you, that I haven't had the opportunity to meet with before, hi, my name is Gerardo. I'm the regional sales manager, Florida and Puerto Rico, as well as the national sales manager for SureGuard, which Jackie just mentioned. I take care of pretty much all the center stations, security, or the receivers equipment. That being said, let me tell you a little bit about us. If I just click the right button, there we go. Johnson Controls Intrusion Division has 3 major product lines. Currently, we have the IQ panel or IQ platform, PowerG wireless technology, along with Power Series Neo. For those of you that had been a long DSC, where the Neo came from. And all of this is basically part of the Johnson Controls security portfolio. The IQ panel came through an organization acquisition of the company name Qualisys back a few years ago. And thanks to its innovative and rich feature set, it's completely changed our vision as far as redesigning our intrusion security offerings and enhancing some of our existing technologies, such as PowerG and Power Series Neo. Our latest flagship, the IQ Panel 4, was released last October 2021, and has now become the new smart home all-in-one automation and security system. I'd like to point out that has now overpassed its predecessor, the IQ Panel 2 Plus, in monthly Alarm.com activations. The monthly Alarm.com activation for this new IQ Panel 4 are at the highest ever reach among those subscribers from Alarm.com. So just to give you an idea of what the IQ Panel 4 offers, let's dive into some of the specs of this IQ Panel 4 smart automation and security all-in-one solution. Number one, we kept the same screen size, touchscreen size, 7 inches. We came from a 4 or quad-core microchip. We double up on the numbers of microchips. We're now at 8. PowerG with dual RF, two-way voice, faster, better range as far as PowerG, LTE, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, C-Wave. So basically all the wireless radios built into it, has a much better range. Bluetooth music streaming capabilities, quad sound speakers with IQ Base, a built-in 8-megapixel camera for disarmament purposes. And we completely redesigned this, what we refer to as the smart mount backplate. One of the most impressive features of the IQ Panel 4 is the intuitive user interface, which we've been able to carry over from the previous builds. That being said, the IQ Panel 2 and 2 Plus for that matter. So right in front of you, you have an idea of how the user interface how intuitive it is and how it operates. With the scrolling methods that we all used to and we all interact with on a daily basis. So we can swipe left, we can swipe right, up and down. We can pick and choose whatever camera we're interested in, and at the same time, just interact with other Z-Wave devices as far as automation goes. Some of these user interface features are live view, doorbell answer, thermostat control, peek-ins, among others. So some of the IQ Panel 4 differences between other competitors, just to point out some of the features that the IQ Panel 4 offers. I'm going to say from left to right, we have the IQ base for audio streaming. It allows the end user to have their cell phone paired with a panel and basically stream music through that device, especially if you have the device as a centerpiece, let's say a top counter type of installation. It has an 8-megapixel camera for disarming, dual RF security wireless technologies, including PowerG as a standard security communications format, in addition to a secondary RF for security system takeover purposes. Native Alarm.com interaction and functionality. And last but not least, a billboard function where dealers have the opportunity to keep their business front and center with existing customers and perhaps future referrals. Not sure if we're doing Q&A towards the end, but if we are, just keep in mind, I'm going to take some questions towards the end of the presentation. The second solution that we're currently offering is the IQ Hub, a cost-effective smart automation and security all-in-one solution. This unit is very close to what the IQ Panel 4 offers at a much cost-effective price point. Some of the features this unit offers are listed as follows. We keep the same screen size, 8-core microchip, LTE and Wi-Fi dual path, large speakers. Now, I gotta say, comparing this to the IQ4 offers 4 speakers. This one only has 2. C-Wave Plus 500 series, in-seat installation backplate, table stand, and use a replaceable battery. And on the next slide, you're gonna see how easy the installation is for this particular IQ Hub model. Now, lower costs, there's some features that have been removed. Two-way voice is not a capability or offering that this panel has. Removed camera, single security radio. So with that being said, here's a question that I normally get asked these days. Explain to me how this single security radio functions or works. Well, keep in mind, the IQ Panel 4 is a dual RF panel, so PowerG will always be present. But in addition to PowerG, you have 3 different versions that you can choose from. You have 319.5, 345, and 433 megahertz. When it comes to the IQ Hub, you only get to choose one frequency. So if you're looking for a solution that only offers PowerG, well, that's the panel that you will get. It only supports PowerG. And the same will apply for the other 3 different frequencies. So 319.5, it will only support 319.5, 345, and 433 megahertz at the same time. So here are some features that I like to point out about the IQ Hub. A complete sealed body makes your installation a breeze by only having access to the battery compartment. So you can tell the bottom left corner, you get to see the battery. When it comes to the back plate, all you have to do is secure the wall mount plate to the wall with 4 screws, and basically you can call it a day at that point. Now you will have more time to spend educating the end user on how to navigate the Alarm.com app while upselling some more sensors, maybe a water valve, some cameras, among other smart devices. Both IQ panel offerings continue to provide some of the key and very requested features by the end users, such as live view and live answer. So one of the things that we do very well is the way we interact and the way we answer the doorbell. When somebody presses the doorbell, the IQ Panel 4 or the IQ panel for that matter, whether you're looking at the 4 or the hub, will prompt the end user. You'll have a pop-up window that will actually allow you to either answer or decline. If you choose to answer, at that point, you're going to have a two-way conversation with the person standing right in front of your front door. Another feature that was introduced by Qualisys a few years ago was the Bluetooth disarming capability. I think it's a great convenience to have. Yes, I do get questions about what will happen if a customer happens to misplace their cell phone. Well, number one, just so you know, it's a completely optional feature. Number two, it is no different to somebody actually misplacing the keys, right? With the difference that if you misplace a key for your front door, now you have to get a second, replacement unit, which will, take time and money. If you misplace your phone, well, the only thing you have to do is disable the Bluetooth capability on the panel. And at that point, well, the only thing that you would have to do would be to replace your phone. But it would be something that can be done very easily, very convenient, in just a matter of seconds. Music streaming. So going back to the IQ Panel 4, one of the options that you have available now, especially if you're looking for a quick installation or no installation at all, or even DIY type of scenarios, would be adding the IQ Base. IQ Base, in addition to providing another bass or speaker, so the sound, you get much better sound, more richer because of the bass capability. You have now the option to actually just leave the panel behind, let's say on the kitchen countertop or just a coffee table, right? So with so many features to choose from, we like to continue offering a one platform for every solution. And I'm going to use that as a segue to my next slide, having a one and single platform for every solution. We understand that with so many verticals, so many technology options out in the marketplace, it is very easy to get caught up in so much noise these days. We at JCI want to become your automation and security solution of choice among all these verticals. PowerG, for instance, allow you to keep your trucks with the best in the market security sensor technology, as well as the most intuitive user interface, automation, and security system that your customers care and crave the most these days. We make complex and easy tasks with today's leading edge technology offerings. And thanks to, again, single platform, for every solution, some of the verticals, right, that we have access to these days, for instance, the residential, small business or commercial, have been, I'm going to say the markets that the majority of security companies have embraced for, many years now. However, today, wellness and MDU have become a great RMR opportunity for many. So this slide, pretty much embraces and kind of tells the story as far as what we have to offer, depending on what vertical you would like to explore. So from the residential to small business, wellness, and MDU, all the different features that you have at your disposal. Just let me say that if you are on the fence to go after, these RMR opportunities, we're here for you. So as far as the IQ Panel 4 panel goes and all the different versions that we have, I like to say, sometimes I get the question, why so many options? And my answer to that question is, well, isn't it, great to have options these days, right? Number one, just know that PowerG has become the standard for obvious reasons. Understanding the PowerG is the new standard for all of them. The secondary RF security frequency can vary between 319.5, 345, and 433 megahertz, just to accommodate legacy technologies, such as Interlogix, Honeywell, and DSC, among others. So I always like to say, don't worry about PowerG. You have PowerG in your pocket no matter what. Focus more on what we're trying to accomplish, especially if it comes down to taking over an existing system. Well, that's what's going to help you to choose the right panel. In addition to that, well, are we looking at AT&T or Verizon? So once you get used to, having all these different options, it gets very easy to choose, the best solution that you can provide to your customers. Continuing about, speaking power, PowerG, what would you consider PowerG for your security sensor offerings? Well, I like to highlight 3 easy options for you. Number one, wireless range up to 1.25 miles, straight line of sight. Number two, the best encryption in the industry so far, up to 128-bit AES encryption. Sometimes, I always like to go to the extent to explain a little bit more about what 128-bit AES encryption is all about. Because if you, the dealer, just mentioned that to the customer, the end user for that matter, they just may, look you in the eye kind of like, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. And I always like to just give the example of, we all do online banking these days. And if we actually trust the computer on which we're doing online banking, well, just know that that connection between that computer and the server back at the bank is actually using the same encryption, which is 128-bit AES encryption. In addition to that, two-way communication, thanks to FHSS, or frequency hopping and spread spectrum. Folks, just let me say, PowerG works thanks to the wireless range and the penetration that 900 megahertz provides. And these are just to mention a few of the features that PowerG is all about. Continuing along the lines of PowerG, last year we released one of the most fascinating and functional PowerG device, and this is the PowerG hardwired to wireless interface module, or some of us refer to it as a takeover module. Well, this module alone allows for any legacy or traditional hardwire system to be taken over and completely enhanced with today's smart home automation and security capabilities. Thanks to the latest firmware update, and I'm going to say currently we are at version 1.2 on this particular module, and the IQ Panel 4 currently running 4.1.0. This hardwire interface module allows any dealer to take up to 40 hardwire zones times 2, because you can actually have 2 of these modules paired with a single IQ panel, plus 2 hardwire keypads from Neo, especially for those of you that have been a DSC customer for years. Hardwire smoke sensors, a hardwire siren, and all that will communicate via PowerG technology back to an IQ panel, thus providing flexibility of installation anywhere in the home, thanks to the wireless range found in PowerG, giving the end user access to all the latest and greatest technology advances built into the panel, in addition to those features offered by Alarm.com. So I think this is a great solution moving forward. Now, with all that being said, I'd like to show you some of our new product innovations brought to you within the last few months, and some of them will be actually hitting the market pretty soon. Some of these, especially for those of you that had the ability to go to ISC West, last March. The IQ water valve, for instance, was introduced roughly about a year ago, and has become a great offering and RMR choice for many dealers. The whole theme about this device is all about the ease of installation with no plumber required. It will install in minutes. The IQ water valve will automatically shut off the main water valve upon a water leak being detected by one of our compatible flood sensors. Whether you choose a PowerG flood sensor device or a flood sensor from our S line, they will be compatible with these. Now, if for whatever reason, let's say the customer does not want an IQ water valve, well, I always suggest just go ahead and at least offer, the flood detectors. That way you will get a notification, via alarm.com directly to your phone. Another innovative piece of technology introduced a few months ago is the IQ router. Why do we create a purpose-built router, you may ask? Well, we wanted to, again, create a purpose-built router for our industry, and especially dealers that know our industry very well. They know that, if you touch the customer's router and let's say something happens, well, if you break it, right, you own it now. Also as an RMR offering that they can provide to their customers and fully managed through alarm.com. What a convenient solution, correct? So reliability, costs, RMR, support, user experience, all of that was the main reason behind as to why we created, and we wanted to get into the router business. But then again, have a router that is purposely built and fully compatible with the IQ panel as well. You will have access to manage the password, the SSID, everything through the IQ panel user interface. So just to show you some of our primary features, great coverage, a complete mesh network router solution, easy installation. It actually features 2 network ports on the back. You can have up to 8 of these. The first unit will become the master. The other 7 will become the slaves or clients. Again, you can actually have, all of those distributed within the house just to create a very robust IQ Wi-Fi. Now, one of the latest PowerG devices that we launched not long ago is the IQ photoelectric beam. A device that will, provide a solution for a perimeter with active infrared technology and PowerG technology, easy install, viewfinder alignment. We have 2 different versions of this photo beam. We have one that covers up to 200 feet. The other one goes up to 350 feet. Battery operated. If you're wondering about, battery life, how good it is, I'm going to say you can expect up to 8 years of battery life, especially if you have it installed, I'm going to say, in a way, so it kind of follows the system. If the system is disarmed, well, the photo beams will not be, I'm going to say, working 24/7. They're just going to be following the status of the system. So if the system is disarmed, they're not doing anything other than just sending heartbeat signals back to the panel just to make sure that, hey, everything is okay. No tempers, no nothing. I'm just here waiting for you to arm the system. We will be redesigning the IQ Hub. This new version will be released, I'm going to say, within the next 2-3 months. New design, it kind of goes along the lines of the IQ Panel 4, with the difference, as you can tell, it doesn't have a front face camera. And the same features that I already went over apply to this new unit. So no two-way voice, 2 speakers only, as opposed to having 4 that you will find on the IQ Panel 4. No two-way voice. Other than that, pretty much is the same user interface as the one that you will find on the IQ Panel 4. Again, a cost-effective automation security solution, dual path, Bluetooth. is still part of the solution itself. One of the new devices that I'm kind of excited about and kind of waiting for it to be released is the new IQ Wi-Fi 6. IQ Wi-Fi 6, as the name implies, is actually based on the latest Wi-Fi 6 technology. It's a very robust, secure mesh network. You can have up to 8 units or nodes. Something that you can use to add your cameras, doorbells, and pretty much everything that has to do with alarm.com. It will be managed through alarm.com as well. Wi-Fi 6 certified, OFDMA technology built in. So nothing but the latest technology as far as Wi-Fi technology goes. All of that will be available to you within the next 2-3 months. All these IQ routers, whether you're looking at the IQ Wi-Fi or the IQ Wi-Fi 6, these devices can be fully managed through, again, the panel itself. Now, another item that is being kind of, we all been waiting for is the IQ Remote Power G. Well, let me tell you that we're getting closer and closer. So one thing that you'll notice is the actual plastic enclosure. It looks just like the current IQ Hub does. And that's because we are going to continue to use the same plastics of the current IQ Hub. However, the new IQ Hub will look a little bit different. So the current IQ Hub plastic will become the IQ Remote Power G. So Power G will be utilized for arming, disarming, anything that has to do with the security side of business, in addition to automation. Now, this IQ Remote Power G will also have Wi-Fi built in. And the Wi-Fi will be utilized for the cameras and pretty much everything else that has to do, let me rephrase that. It will have to do, it will be utilized for cameras only, since automation will be part of the Power G communications format. Up to how many can I have of these? Let me tell you that all in all, you can have up to 11 total of those new Power G IQ remotes, up to 8 connected with Power G and 3 via Wi-Fi. In addition to that, we also have the wire-free Power G button keypads that are currently compatible with Neo. Those will also be compatible with these units, and they are now. Now, IQ Pro, for those of you that had the ability to actually go to ISC West, I'm sure that you got to see quite a bit of the IQ Pro and IQ Pro Plus and IQ Fire, which I'm going to get to in within the next 2-3 slides. The IQ Pro is the perfect commercial solution. We're going to have 2 different models. One that it comes in a plastic enclosure. The second one comes in a metal enclosure. IQ Pro will have up to 8 partitions, 16 secondary keypads, up to 148 PGM outputs, built-in LTE communicator, which is a great thing, especially nowadays with all the different shortages on radios and communicators that we all seem to have. C-Wave, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Ethernet, all that will be built in, just like the IQ Panel 4 does currently. Same IQ Panel 4 user interface on IQ Remote. Everything will be built into this IQ Pro. IQ Pro is, in a way, will be the next Power Series Neo generation. We will continue to manufacture the Neo system as well as the Neo IQ Pro. Power Series Neo, I'm gonna say, will be available within the next, for the next 2-3 years. Simultaneously, again, we'll have the IQ Pro. That way you have more options you can choose from. Last but not least, and after this, we can open up for a little bit of Q&A. The IQ Lockdown, our most secure door coverage ever, that is available now. And this is permanent security solution, 10 times stronger than an actual maglock. It offers triple level fail-safe system based currently on Seaway Plus with military materials constructed. We will be having a second option that will be based on PowerG technology. Now, currently the one that we have available is C-Wave. No ETA as far as when the PowerG base up solution will be available. And with that being said, I'm going to leave you with this slide. So moving forward, we're all about just having one platform for every application, whether you're looking at automation only, residential builder, small business, K-12, whether you're looking at residential, commercial solution type, big, small, medium, large type, and last but not least, the commercial fire. Commercial fire we're currently working on, and I'm gonna say that's probably gonna take a couple more, maybe a year or two, just to actually be released. With that being said, Jackie, I don't know if we're gonna open up for Q&A. If not,
Sorry, I accidentally raised my hand. Sorry about that.
yeah, no worries.
Lower it. Yeah, thank you so much. I think that was very helpful for me because I have not gotten an overview like that. I was at ISC and did get to see a lot of that, but that is very, very helpful. And that water valve, personally, that has helped me. So I am a testament to getting a water shut off if you have a leak detection. Absolutely. I know one question that we have gotten with regards to the sunset and availability. Obviously, you have a tremendous amount of portfolio, but in general, if you could just touch base on how you guys have conquered the sunset.
So the sunset is something that we're all kind of, working and struggling at the same time due to, shortages on components and parts and pieces that we all need to manufacture communicators. I'm going to say that we currently are looking much better than we were 6 months ago as far as having an LTE solution, especially one that is compatible with alarm.com. We have radios now, and we've had it, I'm going to say, for the past 4-6 weeks. So on the radio side, I'm going to say we're looking much better. On the Neo side, we're getting better, but we have been struggling for the past 2-3 weeks.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a universal thing that we're hearing. So it's just trying to combat that. Obviously, we've known the sunset is coming, but even though when you're in it and you're in the throes of it, it's something we have to deal with and buckle down. So that was really helpful. I learned a lot personally. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Gerardo. We really, really appreciate you joining today. And of course, all your support that you offer us every day. So
absolutely. Good to see you. And thank you so much. And any questions that you guys may have, everybody knows how to, reach out to me. If you don't mind, just my phone number, 407-406-3661.
Actually, if you'll do me a favor, you see the little chat feature in the bottom there. If you'll just put all your information in that chat, that way everyone can kind of keep track of contact information for those they want to reach out.
Absolutely. Will do.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. That was wonderful. Thanks again. So now we have Daryl Gray, the man, the myth, the legend of all things, but in particular, M2M. So for those of you who may not be familiar with M2M, Daryl, how many years ago did M2M really kind of get into the market?
They started 13 years ago or 8 years ago here in the US. The company started 13 years ago.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And M2M is a Bulgarian company. And Daryl is out of Florida, but Daryl has a tremendous territory, like you can hear most people on this call. So Daryl's a long time friend. I'm not going to give a number, but a longtime friend of CMS. And so Daryl, if you want to just share your screen, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay, great. Let me get this set up here. Are you seeing it?
Not yet.
Okay, hold on a second here.
You see where it says like share screen and there's like a little box at the bottom with the green arrow?
Yeah, it was there and then it's gone. Where are we going here? Let me cut this off for a second. There we go. That should get it.
Beautiful. We see it.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. What a beautiful screen.
Hold on just a second. Yeah, I want to get it up here. All right.